Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 13th of July. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing. I learn from charts for chart charts, and I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. We've obviously, the war news over the weekend has not been great, but the impact on the market so far has not been significant. We're down 30 points, which really, given the scale of the news, is almost nothing. We are in range of a potential test of the all-time high, and I'm still wondering if we might see that this week. We do have bullish tape today, tomorrow, and Friday. All right, looking at NQ, we had a little week 6 minute sell signal fix there, and that has reached a possible near miss target overnight. This isn't a flag because it doesn't come from the high, but we've got a nice looking falling wedge here. Next obvious target would be wedge resistance, and ultimately, the 70% of the time, this would break up into a possible retest of the high. But one of the problems we've had in terms of reaching the high retests on, the main problem really, on SPX and the Qs, is that Qs has been trailing the pack over the last couple of weeks and has been the weakest of the main indices. RTY, we've got a possible head and shoulders forming here. YM, not really got a possible head and shoulders forming here. Maybe if you squint a bit and draw some very steep lines, then possibly, but I'm not really seeing much in the way of a pattern there. In terms of DAX, this could easily be a double bottom here, and I'm wondering about a rally that could take us back up into the high, but I'm not really seeing a news environment which is particularly encouraging for seeing that. So we will see how that goes. But certainly in terms of the news encouragement, it wouldn't have surprised me to see the markets down 100 this morning or more. So we'll see. ESTX, we don't have a double bottom. This could be a bear flag forming. Nikkei is interesting because we had an inverse head and shoulders that broke up here, and that actually failed overnight. And the fail target is a retest of this low here. So a retest of the July low in effect. So that's not encouraging for more upside. And certainly in terms of Japan's dependence on oil from the Gulf, I'm frankly surprised the reaction here has been so mild. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts, where on ES we're comfortably back over the daily middle band, and we're in range of a retest of the all-time high if possible, and the same certainly goes for SPX. That closed at the high the other day was at 75.79, and 42 points higher would be a retest of the all-time high, so that's not far away. In terms of the news, it's not encouraging. We've got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing here, and that'll probably fix at the open on the hourly chart. We've got a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing on the 15-minute chart. Again, that will probably fix at the open. We might see some downside here, and honestly, if there is talk that the US is going to invade Iran with ground troops this week, that can actually cause a significant move to the downside, in my view. Looking at Qs, we are struggling to get back over the daily middle band, but we did actually manage that last week. Looks as though we'll be back below it at the open today, but really we're at the decision point here. 50 DMA, it's trying to hold support at the bottom, and it's trying to get back over the daily middle band. That struggle is not necessarily finished yet. We've got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing on the hourly chart. This looks like overall a bullish consolidation. And we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the 15-minute chart. Looking at Dia, which hasn't really seen a lot of weakness, but I'm wondering about a test of the daily middle band, which we haven't quite seen yet, and a test of this rising support, which is pretty much in the same area, in the 520 area. We will see whether we get that. It's a nice looking wedge. I've been saying that all along, and it's decent. We will see whether or not we get down to the wedge support. And if the worse the news is, the more likely it is it's going to reach it. In terms of IWM, we have seen a couple of fairly aggressive tests of the daily middle band, and we've hit this rising support trend line, which we've actually broken slightly. We have got still obviously daily RSI 14 sell signals fixed across the board on the US indices, and this is a sign of weakness, suggesting that we might be forming a head and shoulders here. And we've already reached the ideal right shoulder high area. So if we were to see a hard breakdown, this would give us a target which would be down in about the 280 area, I think. All right, looking at DAX, trying to struggle back over the daily middle band. Nikkei is not back over the daily middle band yet, and we've got this very nice looking rising megaphone here, which is really very nice. And I've been watching this carefully. We've come back down. We've tested the rising support. That's holding so far. We could obviously retest the high and potentially go higher from here. But if that breaks, then I would be looking for a reversal pattern, possibly at one of these head and shoulder necklines, which are down in the 62.3K area and 59.3K areas. So we shall see how that goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX, where we've still got a nice looking bull flag, and we still haven't broken up from it yet. So the other currencies are cautiously supportive. Looks like a bear flag starting to break down on USD. GBP USD not really telling us a great deal from here. We had an IHS, it made targets, it hasn't failed yet. We've certainly not broken any rising support trend lines. This could be a bear flag though. USD JPY, this looks like a bullish consolidation. So far, possible flag forming. USD CAD, maybe a flag. Australian dollar may well be a bear flag. NZUSD not really telling us an awful lot. Okay, looking at bonds. Bonds in this sort of circumstance with the Iran war have tended to go down, and at the moment we are retesting the recent lows, and I'm wondering about a move down to retest the May lows. We may well see that, and we're seeing exactly the same thing on ZN, where we've got the sell signal here has now made target overnight. Looking at the oil charts now, I was showing on the bigger picture webinar last night that I had a couple of nice looking double bottoms at the close on Friday, and those both made target overnight. We only made the first target, but we could still make the second target. But we only made the first target on the W tick chart, and then we've seen a pullback, and then it looks like we're going to go back and retest the high. And I'm thinking we'll probably go back and retest this high here at 76. This is important. I was talking about this on the daily middle bands. We've got daily middle band resistance above, and I'm wondering whether that will be broken. I'm thinking it might well be. Double bottom here. We made the full target yesterday. Seen it pull back, coming back up into the highs. In this news environment, it's hard to see oil not going up. And if we see a break over the daily middle bands, then what I'm thinking is overall we may be looking at an A, B, C that would potentially take us up into 84, 85 area. And then we would see that I was thinking actually we might see a nice bear flag form, and then more peace negotiations, possibly go back down and retest the lows. But if we see a ground invasion, obviously that's probably not going to happen. So I'll be watching the news carefully this week, but we are testing the resistance that held it last week. If that breaks over, we could see Brent get back up into the mid 80s, and WTIC potentially get up into the low 80s. We will see how that goes. In the short term, we haven't got any open signals here. The hourly sell signals that reached the possible near miss target have reset because we got back to the 70 area. So no current signals here. Waiting to see if we develop some this week, but really my lean would be more upside in the short term, and the news is really supporting that. HO, wondering about a retest of this high. RBAR, wondering about a retest of this high. NG, we saw a move down to a target at a retest at the May low, and we shall see how it goes from here. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed, and I'm thinking we might see a rally here, but at the moment we've not seen much sign of it. Right, while we have been in a war situation before, gold has tended to go down. I'm wondering about low retests here across the board on GC, on SI, on palladium, which looks like a bear flag forming, on platinum, which kind of looks like a bear flag forming too. HG, this also looks like a bear flag. So across all the metals, these look like bear flags at the moment. And I'm thinking we may see those will deliver in their context. I generally expect to see equities going down too. We've got bullish tape this week, but obviously news tends to trump tape, so we shall see whether or not that actually delivers us anything. So, all right, looking at the other commodities, KC. This looks like a bullish consolidation before we see a retest of the high. SB, we got a possible head and shoulders forming here, or a double top breaking down. Sell signal made target. CC, possible head and shoulders forming here. The 60-minute sell signal has reached the possible near miss target. Sorry, misspelling there. All right. So looking at lumber, I'm wondering about a retest of the high. CT. We had a very nice looking bear flag megaphone here, but I'm thinking that bear flag may be breaking up, and it may be, I was talking about this on the bigger picture last night, that we've got an IHS breaking up. I haven't marked that in yet, but I'm probably going to mark that in today, in which case I'd be looking for a target up basically at a retest of this high. Looking at ZW, we've got a double top with double bottom, which is broken up here with a target in the 670.5 to 678.5 range. On corn, no really obvious double bottom setup here, and we're holding the monthly pivot nicely, and that's converted to support. We do have a potential level top here, which I'll keep you an eye on. On soy, we've got a potential level top too. On ZL, we haven't quite made it to the double bottom target, which is a little strange, but it looks like we're going to make that at the open this morning. On live cattle, possible double bottom here, and lean hogs, this still looks like a bear flag forming. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions, of which we have none. Which is my pleasure as always, mate. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, cheers.